have that instinct automatically? Because remember, some of this stuff is genetic. They either have it or they don't, right? This is what it's all about, people. Attack the boy! He must know that I'm in the dog fight with him. I'm next to him side by side. We have a bond that's unbreakable.
Yes.
Hey, I always ask people when I first start a podcast, what's your favorite movie?
Unusual Suspects.
Kaiser, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
That was your favorite movie.
And yeah, that's one of my most favorite
What's
movies.
your other
besides
favorite
the
movie?
Godfathers. The Godfather movies.
Okay. So see,
And
we're almost the
Scarface.
same age. So listen. We read this quote.
Blues Brothers. Any John Wayne movie.
Oh, yeah,
ahead.
Blues Brothers the best. What about this quote right here?
I got to put my glasses on,
Oh,
honey.
Lord have
Let
mercy.
me look. I know it's bad. It's bad getting old. What the hell? I still can't read that, Gerald. What's it say?
It says, I want you to be nice until it's time not to be nice.
Ha.
Dalton.
Like it. Dalton.
Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze. You know, I met him in Arizona when I worked for Hilda and Rose. They brought in these Polish Arabians from overseas. Anyway, long story short, I was 14? I was 14 years old. I didn't even know who the hell he was.
Yeah.
Introduced me to him and everything, shook my hand, told me, good job, young lady, and didn't even know who he was until that movie came out, Dirty Dancing.
Patrick Swayze.
He was a nice man.
Dude, and I was telling Miles today. Miles is my videographer. He makes all this shit happen, all this magic stuff. He makes me look good in front of the camera, but the real magic is what he does behind the camera. Shout out to Miles Myers.
Hi, Miles. And he gave me that tip yesterday to stream. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Did it work?
I got to order it. I have to order it online.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing around here. I could just run and grab something like that. Because if I did, I'd be using a nice camera.
There you go. So people, I wanted to bring on my sister in spirit, Meredith at Rocky Mountain Doberman. Hey, did you like the song that I picked with Eddie Rabbit?
Oh, yes, I did. I did.
Listen.
I was like, damn, he's got soul.
Yes. Listen, I'm from the South. Come on now.
He's got soul. I hadn't heard, it was crazy. I was listening to radio, came across, it was Eddie Rapp, and I was like, oh my God, I hadn't heard him in forever. And then you did that intro, and I was like, all right, there's something going on here.
Listen, country music is so dope that because it tells a story.
It does.
It tells a story. And you can actually understand the story. A lot of these rap groups now, and I'm an old school guy, I don't listen to these new generation rap where they using machines to alter their voice.
Yeah,
I don't listen to that shit.
Tupac, honey.
Yeah, I don't listen to that shit. Now I listen to like the Gap Band, the 70s and the 80s music.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an 80s guy. You talking about Aha, Journey, Tears for Fears, Duran Duran, White Snake.
Yes.
Guns N' Roses, Bon Jovi. I got it all.
Yes.
I got it all.
Yes, I did too. Used to listen to all that myself, darling. I think I'm only a year older than you, I think.
I'm 54 this year.
I'll be 55 in July.
Yes, just a year. You actually the same month as my wife. What date?
Oh, really? July 14th.
She's I gotta make sure I do this right. July 20th.
You better not slip up and have Miss Stephanie on here.
July 20th. July 20th.
Oh, okay. July 20th. She is a Cancer.
Right.
I'm a Cancer too.
So yeah, July 20th, 1974. She's a baby.
Yeah, she is.
She's a baby.
She's a baby.
Yeah. So, hey, people, I wanted to bring Meredith on because she has a lot of wisdom, and we can always learn from other people. I don't know everything, and I don't pretend to know everything, but when I don't know something, I bring on the people who have the most knowledge, and Meredith has a lot more knowledge, especially when it comes to the well-being of these animals, and not just dogs, but horses, cows, sheep, farm animals. Listen, let me tell you what I learned yesterday.
What'd you learn?
And because Casanova passed away from bloat, right?
Yeah.
and I'm like shackled to the point like I don't know what the fuck to do. But what somebody told me yesterday at this, I went to this thing called the North American Borbal Breeders Registry, and
Mm-hmm.
it's ran by a couple of people. It's a registry outside of AKC, and it's
Mm-hmm.
ran by Max Tran, good friend of mine. Shout out to Max. Thanks for inviting me to that show. And they also they have an array of different type of Borbal Mastiff. They got blues. They got I forgot the lilacs. I don't know what the colors are, but they spotted. They
Mm-hmm.
off whites. They got the blacks. They got their two color Borbal Mastiffs. But I remember when he where was I going with this? I don't remember. But what I learned,
I do that all the time, darling.
and
I do it all the time.
we met another. I met another lady that is part of. She's one of the head members of this registry. They did an appraisal. So basically, is that outside of AKC, there's another Borbal registry, and so an appraisal means that the dog has to be 12 months, and they have to evaluate your dog in order for you to be able to breed that dog with proper paperwork. Yeah,
Are you serious?
bullshit. So it's like they police themselves, which I like because we need
I
them.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what she was telling me, because she does farm animals too, and she's based in Missouri. She
Mhm.
said next time if your dog have bloat, God forbid he does, he said you put the dog on his back, and one person grabbed the front legs, other person grabbed the back legs, and they go from left to right like this and move
Mhm.
the body from left to right, right?
Mhm.
And then once the stomach gets back in place, they said put a tube down his or her throat to release the gas. Now,
Another thing you can use a hypodermic needle because the stomach's on the left side.
yes,
And what'll happen is you gotta have one about, oh, I can't know the exact gauge, let's say that long. Okay. And you'll feel it. Like say you're pushing into a balloon.
yeah,
Okay. And that's where you'll know where the stomach's at as well. But you could actually just stick a, if you can't, if you people don't know that, we do that, they do that with lambs, by the way. But anyway, you stick that needle in there and it lets those gases out, and sometimes liquid and stuff will come out and rush them to the vet. I didn't
okay,
know that. Yeah, they could do that with the dog back and forth. Do, do, do. See, I learned things.
yeah, yeah. So it's because I'm gonna be honest with you. And Meredith, me and you, we're financially stable, but
Hmm.
we do have limits, right?
Yes.
Like,
Amen.
so I end up spending. I mean, I walked in the door, it was $2,000 because it's ER 6 in the
Hmm.
morning, and before you knew it, it was $19,000 and some
Mm-mm.
change in 5 to 6 days
Jesus, that's
because
crazy.
they did a plasma transfusion
That
and
shouldn't cost someone just a few $100s. But yeah, go
right.
ahead.
And then they cut him open. They cut some of his stomach off because it had some of the tissue had killed itself from
Hmm.
being twisted. And they put the new tissue, the new stomach to the old stomach and
Hmm.
resew it.
Good
And
intestines. Yeah.
yes, and then they stitched his stomach on the inside of his cavities. So in
Yep.
case,
And you paid extra for that as well, just so you know.
yeah. And he was recovering. And 2 days later, it's he has more fluid. He's still developing fluid in his stomach, and he's not wanting to eat on his own. But he's awake and he's around and everything.
Yeah.
I said, so what does that mean? Oh, we got to go
Do
in there
those
and
things.
fix it. It's like, oh shit. So it's like another starting out another $12,000 to $15,000. At this time, man, I'm thinking like you already removed the spleen, which is
Yeah.
really insignificant part.
Hmm.
But like, is the quality of life going to be the same? Is he going to be able to function as a 5-year-old premier stud?
Hmm.
He was already pissing blood every now and then, and it was a prostate issue. So we was always giving him Baytril or whatever, and the doctor was always fixing it. And then he's cool, and then he wasn't. This is why I don't do a lot of live covers unless the females I know that are health tested and not only health tested but
Hmm.
has had some antibiotics prior
Hmm.
to
Or,
coming
yep.
because and it was like I think when we start what I'm starting to do now is the medications that we are needing that are like the amoxicillin. I'm
Yeah.
getting them from Mexico. I'm gonna get the 90 bottles.
You can order them same damn amoxicillins from a fishery place.
Yeah. So,
Same
but it,
things.
but you go to the damn vet, they want to charge you $60, $70 for like 20 pills.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like now it's like I want to start being to the point, like case in point,
Yeah.
200 years ago, 150 years ago, 100 years ago, maybe 120 years ago, most women, when they were having kids, they had midwives. They didn't run
Mm-hmm.
to the hospital.
Mm-mm.
It was midwives. It's like we
And a
learn how
lot
to
of women died too.
well, a lot of women died, but for the ones that survived, we knew how to administer a live birth with no complications,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
I think we need to get back to that where we are not
We can get
administering.
back to basics.
Yes, not administering surgeries now, because I'm not a surgeon. I don't pretend to be one,
Mm-hmm.
but the bare things to prolong or delay the possible inevitable. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, let's fix this right now so we can salvage, mitigate what could be worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this shaking the dog shit, that would have did me good, and then I still would have went to the vet. And guess what? You won't have to cut his ass open to untwist his stomach, but you would have
Well,
released some gas.
yeah. Well, here's the thing: when they twist like that, that starts dying immediately. So,
Yeah,
I've never heard of that, with
yeah,
that, but I know damn well that method works with the needle. I know for
yeah,
a fact.
yeah,
But here's the thing: you're a better person than me. I know you love your dog and everything, but I'd
yeah.
have put him down because I've seen it, I've had experience with it, and most dogs that I have personally and have encountered,
Right.
they normally either they make it if they even make it to the vet to do the surgery, they either die on the table, or if they make it through, you end up having to put them down 2 3 days later, or they die anyway.
Hmm.
That's my experience.
It's almost the quality of life. I'm gonna text you some stuff. The
Yeah,
quality of life is just will never be, and that's my thing. Is
won't
the
be the same.
quality never be the same. I'm gonna text you this, and we'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay. Let
It's
me
the
get my
my
glasses
new
and look.
edition. My new edition coming. Well, you know how they be restricting shit now, where you got to wait almost 6 months to get something from overseas.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. Oh, my goodness.
Yes. Now he's getting his
My
ears and tails
goodness.
done. You know how they do it in Europe. They wait and do the ears and tails at
Ooh.
the same time.
Oh, wait. Should oh, wait. We'll talk about it in a
We're
minute.
gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
But here's the thing: I want you to be careful with those antibiotics. Because, see, when you go throw in those amoxicillins at your dogs,
Yeah.
and it's not even just be careful. You can actually cause them any bacteria that they could potentially get in the future. You could actually cause them to become resilient to it.
Yes.
By those antibiotics. Certain antibiotics treat certain things.
Yeah.
Okay. So just be careful. Remember when you texted me that yesterday, and I said that, I don't do all that, unless I
Yeah.
go to my vet, things like that, unless I absolutely know what it is. Syndamycin is great for treating dogs with uh, you know, bladder infections, things like that, yeast infections. It's great for things it's even like that for us. So when you look at that stuff, when you go on the line and you're looking at it, even though you got it from Mexico, go online and see what's best for those exact medicines for treating and how long and the dosage. And not sometimes you don't always need that 500 milligrams, just so you know that.
Yeah. You know
Just
what?
so you know that.
You know what's
Be
interesting is that
careful.
like Angel from Breeders Hack, he said
Hmm.
that. He said, you know what? If you start over medicating your dog as a preventative measure, then when something does happen and those pills you're not taking, your dog can almost
You're
build up a
screwing them.
resistance. Yeah. So
You're basically gonna, yeah. So just be careful with those things, Cheryl. Now use a lot of things, like natural method. There's all kinds of information out there today that you and I didn't have at one time, or I didn't, you know, since the internet and all. There's all kinds of great information about homeopathic things that you can do, like treating
yeah.
a dog with a yeast infection. Believe it or not, one part distilled vinegar and one part water, distilled water. Put in here.
You know what
Works great.
Raul said that too. He said that and Raul is he's the guy that owns that site called K KN KMB. No,
Okay, I haven't heard of them.
QBN Kennels.
Okay, I'm
QBN
not
Kennels,
sure I know
Raul.
who they
He's a
are.
nurse by day,
Mhm.
and he's a
Mhm.
breeder and family man by night. And he does bullies
Mhm.
big time. You would love listening to him.
I
Very
will.
knowledgeable. Yeah, QBN. Shout out to QBN Raul.
I'll
Really,
check him out.
really informative. I like listening to people like him who are informative. You know, a
Mhm.
lot of these social media cats, and I'm gonna consider myself a quasi social media cat,
Mhm.
but a lot of the social media cats, they just have music playing in the background and they just show dogs.
Yeah.
Never, no dialogue, no
No,
monologue.
because they don't have any.
No, they just showing dogs,
That's
right?
all
Just
they know is to breed puppies. That's it. And a lot of things I see with these people. I hope I'm not talking too loud with these earplugs.
no, you sound great.
Okay. Uh, but anyhow, sorry, I gotta fix that one. What was I gonna say?
A lot of these dog
Geez.
people.
Oh, a lot of these dog people, are breeders. And it's good to have, I seem like I was watching something, I think it was one of your things we're talking about, and I have friends of mine that use it too, like the stuff they get from Revival for the dogs, like your our bitches.
Right.
Uh I don't use all that stuff. I don't. I just keep it basic. I keep more things. Now I do get some of the stuff for Breeder's Edge, things like that. A good thing is just keeping your dogs, say, let's just do your canines. Good potassium, good, good potassium and calcium is very important. And all these things that people go and they just keep pumping, and even in their females and their puppies,
Hmm.
it's not really good. I am dead
True.
against about giving the puppies a bunch of antibiotic and stuff like that. It's very, especially amoxicillin, it's very hard on their little developing kidneys and liver. Very hard on them.
Talk to me about the ear cropping because I'm loving it. You know what? And I got brackets like
About my ear
these.
cropping, what you're seeing there?
Yeah, tell me about them and about the
Well,
bracket because I got those brackets that I got
I
from a
order
guy
from
from Canada.
Slobodan at Betelgeuse.
Yes, yeah,
I get
yes.
them from
Slope
him
is
for
good.
25. I love those. My mother had those back in the day. I remember when I was a little girl, her Dobermans running around with them little brackets.
Yes.
Okay. And I was always wondering where the hell can I find them, Gerald? And I could never find them. Well, and lo and behold, a miracle happened, which, I don't know. I just seen Slebanon post some pictures of his puppies one day. And I was like, I reached out to him. And he says, oh, I can get them for you. And that's the end of the story there. And let me tell you, when I get clients, and a lot of them don't have any experience in posting and wrapping the ears, and a lot of
Hmm.
them really over fixate, on it. This that little head rack I ordered from $25 a piece from Slobodan in Serbia, if anybody's watching. Uh, and 99.9% of all my clients are now successful with their ear posting.
Wow.
That is so simple. They're not, because you know how some will do, they'll wrap them too tight, the tape will cut them, this, that. They don't get the back rod or whatever they use. And they're like, that makes things so easy. So all my puppies come with that little head rack, every
Yeah.
one of them,
So
you know,
I got some, but um,
but it's not recommended for if you get the extra long crop. After
yeah,
so long, the ear will grow out of it.
yeah.
You know, yeah. So anyway.
I do the medium show crop. I mean, now
Hmm.
if the breeder like Alonzo that I got in 2010, she had
Hmm.
already done the long crop, and I didn't know the difference between long show crop and and medium show crop. And I
Hmm.
said, "Fuck it, do the long crop. I'm cool with that." And
Took
once
you a
they
minute
up,
to train.
they're up, and it's like, especially if you got a nice head too. Oh my god,
Hmm.
it was the greatest.
Yeah,
Let-
I recommend to most of my clients who aren't experienced to and either get the medium. I call it like the
The
medium. If
medium
they want
show,
something
yeah,
little, yeah, I get recommending the medium, and some I might want a little bit longer. And believe it or not, a couple of centimeters, because that ear is still growing. Okay, it's still
yeah.
growing. So I might just ask my doc, and I have such a wonderful
Hi,
veterinarian.
everybody.
And
Right.
I have such a wonderful veterinarian, Dr. Alan Dorr. He's amazing. If he's watching, shout out to you, darling. But he's gotten those ears really nice for me.
Hmm.
really nice. But I'll have him to say, hey, doc, just add another couple of centimeters on there. And that'll make it just a little bit longer than the medium, but it's still easy enough for my clients to be successful with. And
How
it
are
kind
you?
of gives it that nice presence.
How do you keep them from playing with each other's ears? Do you spray some bitter apple on there or something?
Oh, honey, it's hell.
Yeah,
Normally, normally, I don't even like to really post them until they start going out the door.
yeah.
And some people actually say, "Well, you got to post them right then." Even vets, I have literally been in a vet office longer, ripping all that stuff off my puppies because I think it's better for to let Mother Nature do its job. My puppies, when I get the ear crops, I don't have them on antibiotics. They're not on pain medicines. None of
Hmm.
that. They don't need it.
Okay,
I
I'm
Right.
gonna
just
go to
clean it with
bed.
50% alcohol as needed, as needed. And I remove the sutures in like 7 days. And then I start posting when, normally. Sometimes I'll start posting. But mostly I keep my puppies until 10 to 12 weeks of age, period, regardless of anything. All my puppies, none of my puppies leave until they're 10 weeks,
So
period.
so do you do you do all the shots and
Hmm.
then all the deworming and
Yep.
you make
Uh,
sure the ears are almost, well, they ain't gonna be
They are
almost up,
healed.
but
They
the
are
stitches are
healed when
out
they leave.
though.
Yeah, but they're healed when they leave me. They're
Wow.
healed. I don't like for clients, and I love these puppies so much, Gerald. I don't want them being put at risk, especially with people who are just not really don't have the know-how and the knowledge
Yeah.
of detecting something wrong. And you know what can happen with that. That's just awful for a puppy. So I keep my puppies 10 to 12
Look,
weeks.
everybody, we got us a
Sometimes
white.
I've kept, and I don't ship my puppies until say at least 15 weeks. I don't even ship them.
How are they adapting to, like, how do they adapt to this weather right here?
Oh, they love it. They love it. When the sun is shining, they love it. I've sent you a little video one day of here not long ago, them all running and playing.
S-
Uh, they get snow baths too when it's snowing and stuff. Boy, they I don't have to worry about bathing them.
Well, I tell you what,
Mother Nature,
her name of her kennel is Rocky
Rocky
Mountains.
Mountain Dobermans.
That's right. So the Rocky Mountains are in Colorado. So,
Yep.
and you up there in the mountains too, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm right between what we call part of the Rockies is the West Elk Mountains and the San Juan Mountains. What 2 hours from Aspen, an hour and a half from Telluride,
All right. So let me
in the
see here.
most beautiful part of Colorado.
I believe you. So, people, if you want to follow her, hit questions. She's always having, well, I don't know if she's always having puppies, but when she does, she'll put you on the waiting list. You can follow her on Instagram at Rocky Mountain Dobermans. TikTok, you know what? I'm becoming a huge fan of TikTok because
I love
they not
TikTok.
as
I love
restricted as
TikTok.
Instagram. I ain't gotta wake up the next day. Oh my God, they took my photo down, or they blocked my
Hmm.
account, or all that
Hmm.
goofy ass stuff going
I
on. I'm like,
love it. I think it's fun. It's entertaining too, and somewhat educational a little bit. I hope they
"Yeah,
don't take it away from us,
no,
because that's what they're talking about doing. But you were also asking, like, with the puppies and stuff. Yeah, I don't, another thing, I don't let any of my puppies leave until they have 2 to 3 sets of vaccines. They have a 2-year health guarantee. I do everything. Yeah.
N- you have
And I wish
contracts
more
signed
breeders
too.
would do that. Go ahead.
So you have contracts ready for
Yeah.
them to sign.
I
Yeah.
have, yep, they're right on my website for everybody to see.
Yeah. So if you want to go to her website now, it is, well, is it, I got your
Rocky
Facebook.
Mountain Dobermans.
Let me type that in and put that in my
Rocky
program.
Mountain Dobermans.net.
There we
And I have
go.
2 to 4 litters a year. Sometimes I have just one. It just depends on how I feel,
Hmm.
what I want to deal with.
Oh, let me post it for our followers so
Hmm.
they can go there, because I always say not everybody who's on Facebook is on TikTok. Not everybody's on TikTok is on Facebook. Not everybody's on Facebook on Instagram. Everybody on Instagram is not on social media,
Yeah.
right? So, you guys, if you want to go to her website, it's not .com, it's
.net.
.net. I'm gonna ask you some few questions here, but I'm gonna
It's
read.
atrocious. I never keep that website up to date, just so you
Yeah,
know. Never do.
Miles, he's revamped mine and everything. Tony, it says, Tony, if I'm not mistaken, fish medicine is the only medicine that you don't need a vet order for
No, You can
No,
buy it.
you can buy it, but here's the deal.
Mhm.
Even that sulfate, what is it called? Sulfate?
The sulfur. Yeah.
I used to get from Revival Animal, like Animal Revival. They stopped selling it, and now they're trying to get it where it's prescribed, required. So the veteran, the government is realizing, oh, we can make money on this. I'm just waiting
Hmm.
for them to start making dewormers, the liquid kind that come in that big white bottle. What's the name of that? I
I
got a
use
whole.
parental.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the best for my youngsters and all. It's so gentle. It's human grade. I order it from Revival. I order it
right.
from them.
Now
And
this is a question for you. I'm gonna see. Can you see the questions on your?
I can't see them too well. Go
Oh, you on
ahead.
your phone or you on a monitor?
On the phone.
Okay, it says activated Dobermans wants to know. I'm gonna let you answer this question. How many days in a row do you recommend giving a female amoxicillin 500 before a live cover breeding?
I don't even think she needs that much of a dosage, honestly.
Yeah.
But
How many
what
days
I would
before?
do, I'd say 7 to 14 days.
Yeah, yeah. And then do you recommend doing probiotics after that?
I would during it.
Yeah.
Give them yogurt. Give them
Yep.
yogurt. That helps. And
Yeah.
here's the thing for that gentleman right there as well. Uh, if your dog is not suspect to an infection, don't give it to her.
Correct.
What you do is you take your dog to the veterinarian, have him put the little thing in there, swipe around her cervix, and put it on a slide
See if there's any
and see if
bacteria.
she has a potential infection. Or you could just have her white cells checked. If they're elevated, you know not to breed, or go ahead and put her on some antibiotic and then take her back in before you breed. Have the white cells checked again. They're all everything's normal. The red and white cells are normal. You're okay. I did that with your dogs when I come to you, Gerald,
Yep. Listen, here's Tony.
and they
this
were maiden, but I still did it.
Yeah, here's a question from Tony. Can you guys talk about the criteria for a good vet and how do you go about finding one?
Simple. Find you a large animal vet. Don't go to these pet vets. Pet vets.
Don't go to no
Can't stand
Banfield
them.
shit like that. Go to the farm
Yeah.
animals.
Find you a large animal vet. Do you know your large animal vets have to go to school longer than your pet vets? 9 to 12 years, longer than your MD.
Yep.
To
Dr.
find you a
Poe.
large, yep, find you a large animal vet, honey. And the older they are, sometimes the better. They're old school.
Yep.
I could not say enough. Dr. Dora has been amazing for us and my other country vets.
Oh, this is a
There
good
you go.
question. This is a good question, man. I can't answer this one. Activated Dobermans asked me, does Rocky Mountain Dobermans sell dogs with full registration rights or limited rights?
Limited,
Limited. There you go. That's
limited.
your
And
answer.
here's the thing. I'm tired of these people just getting these dogs, throwing them together. I got a female. In fact, I just turned a guy away here not long ago. He called me and said, "Hey, I got this female I want to breed." I said, "Well, what's her health testing?" He's like, "Well, she's registered." I said, "No, what's her health testing?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "What's her health test?" "Oh, she's got her shots." I said, "No. You're not getting a dog from me." I say,
Right.
go get her health tested, things like that, and go and learn about the breed and give me a call later on. But right now, you're not getting a dog from me. Now, I don't have a problem giving breeding rights, not at all. And it even states on my contract, I have another little piece of paper I'll pull out because if they are wanting the breeding rights on that dog, I'll give it to them. But they have to, and which even though I don't care if the dog, I know it's all going to be clear. I still want them to go and get the VWD, the DCM 1 and 2, but preferably the 1, but 2, you know, and the DM. That way
Hmm.
it starts giving them a common knowledge of what they need to look for when they go to pair that male or that female.
Yeah.
And does that make sense? And they
Yes.
can go on and show it, things like that. Yes. That's just, and then I'll release them.
Here, so
And I think more
Gerson,
breeders need to do it.
yeah, they definitely need to. When I went to that show yesterday, that Max Tran invited me to, it's the
Mhm,
North American Borbal Breeders Registry.
mhm. I seen that beautiful pup.
Oh my God, it is.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous
Listen,
specimen. Beautiful
I,
specimen.
I wish that I could have like all the dog breeds that I wanted to out here, but I'm in LA in this in a metropolitan city, they will hang my fucking ass. Like, man, you got to have license. Like, but if I'm in the country somewhere in
I don't
Mississippi, they
know if
don't care
Stephanie
about
would
that
like
shit.
all that if you bringing them all home.
I'll be bringing some Irish setters, some
I
pointers, some
love
Gordons.
Irish
I
setters.
love them too, Doc.
They are
Listen.
beautiful. I had a red one when I was a little girl. It was given to us from some church people, and yeah, I got stolen. But anyway,
So here's a good question, and this is a question for you. Gerson Kasai, let me see,
let me pull up my
Casais.
iPad up here.
Gerson said, "What is the tag price for the puppies?" They want to know your pricing.
My puppies are $5,500 to 7,000 each.
There you go, baby. There you go. Listen, and you have a waiting list
And
too. So
sometimes I do. I don't have much of a waiting list because we got a lot of these other breeders, and a lot of them could beat my prices. But I'm going to tell you something. You can't compare a Mercedes to a Toyota, darling.
you really can't. There you go. There
And
you
I know
go.
I'm a little pricey. Some will say, well, look at everything that I do.
Yes.
Everything that I do, and a 2-year health guarantee. And you know, if any of my clients are on here, they'll tell you. Meredith keeps up with her clients. You can call me. I don't care if you got a dog for me 10 years ago. If you got an emergency, you call me. As long as there's life in me, darlings, you can call me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. That's what I'm here for. Um, I do want my clients to succeed. You know, I mentor people who even get breeding rights from me. I
Mm-hmm.
mentor them. Things like this. I do a lot, you
Yeah.
know, and yeah.
Tony said, "Amen."
hmm I'm with
Amen.
them, you know, and then see if they pay that extra for them breeding rights. If that dog uh doesn't come out with the breeding rights that the stuff that we need,
Mm-hmm.
they can get another dog for me at cost.
So
And I always take any of my dogs back. I don't care what the
now,
circumstance
do you
is.
get refunds back if you take them back? I don't. I don't think.
No, I don't give
No.
refunds.
Okay.
No, I
Good.
had a
Good.
client of mine call me. Well, I look good. I got the dog, but I'm like, I'm making no money. I rehomed the dog. I didn't make
Yeah.
nothing. I brought the dog back here, worked with it, trained it, did this. And now it's a service dog for a guy in Montrose,
Yeah.
a veteran over there.
So here's another good question. Activated Dobermans. You got a lot of questions. Activated Doberman. Good stuff. He says, I was looking at a few vets in case I need a C-section called. And vets,
hmm
their conditions is only if you get the dog spaded after. Don't understand why. Now, let me answer that, and then I'll let you answer why. A lot of these vets that Meredith was talking about, these pet vets,
Pet vets.
they don't want you to breed anyway. They're gonna tell you,
Mm-mm.
get the dog nuts cut off, get her uterus taken out. Don't do that. Adopt, don't crop. I'm like, they don't want you to breed anyway. You got to go to vets that specialize in reproduction of animals, the ones that
hmm
want responsible breeders to breed pedigree dogs, health tested dogs, dogs with minimal or no genetic issues. They want you to be responsible. They want you to be responsible breeders. Now you start going to these vets like Banfield and all this other shit. They go say, "Oh, get his nuts cut off because guess why? He
I had
won't
a
get."
puppy at
It's like,
3 months old.
yeah. And you know what? I
Yeah,
get
like insanity.
I get a lot of heat when people when I talk about ear croppings and tail docking. I really
Mm.
do. And I'm like, it's that's animal mutilation. You
Yeah, I
traumatize the
get
dog.
it. I
First
don't
of
care.
all, they sleep when this is done. Number
hmm
one, when you get the ears cropped. Second of all, they're not in pain when it's getting done. I said, you know what? I said,
The
you know,
skin on your earlobe, people, just so you know. You feel the flap of your earlobe, pinch it, wiggle around as hard as you can. But if you do it up here where the cartilage is, it hurts.
yeah. You know what I said?
There's a difference.
This is
That's
what
why I
I
do it
said.
young.
I said, you're right. It is mutilation. It is cruel, unusual. I say you're right about that. I said, but listen, it's the breed standard. Number one. Number two is I'll agree. It is mutilation. I say, you know what? You should get mad at your mama right now for getting you circumcised after you was recently born without any anesthesia. And guess what? It served no purpose.
And that baby cried more than them puppies ever did. And
Right.
here's the thing: I don't care if it wasn't breed standard. I love it. And like if they banned it here in Mexico, I'm just gonna go I'm just gonna go to Mexico, drop my puppies up. I've already Google searched them, the good vet over there, right over the border. where I'd go from my side where I'm at in Colorado, and I'd go and have me some margaritas.
Listen, I got a guy,
I make a vacation.
when you need the number,
I'm gonna do it.
I got a guy that flies in from Mexico. He
Hmm.
knocks him out and flies back. And I'm talking about a whole litter at a very, 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 very reasonable rate, right?
Really, give it to me.
Yes, yes, very reasonable rate. You tell him I referred you because he don't work with everybody,
Okay.
and they're world class croppings. They're not this shit where the bell is big ass back
Oh,
bell,
I
and
hate those Dumbo ears.
there's
Ugh.
upside down ice cream
Yeah.
cone. None of that
Yeah.
crap. It's
Yeah.
that look. You know what
It's
I'm saying?
legit. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Hmm.
I give you that, but make sure you tell him that I referred you,
I will.
and that way he knows that he can talk to you about it. Because again,
I
you know,
appreciate that,
we'll
Gerald.
talk about it.
I
Let's
appreciate that.
let me see here. Activated. So let me see what's the other one. Uh, Cody. Cody Yari said, if you want to talk about mutilation, let's talk about spading your females along with human ear piercings and tattoos. Facts. When
Well,
you get
here's
these,
the thing. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry.
No. Facts is like when these little girls, infant girls, getting their ears pierced. Are they giving them anesthesia before that? No. But what's the
No, they don't
purpose?
need it. But I get the point. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. I think it should be criminal. These vets go on here and they scare these clients to death. Oh, if you don't spay and neuter, your dog's gonna be more high risk of cancer. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. If you're these, like me and my health guarantees and stuff, if you now I will give a little leeway with some of my clients with the females. I say to them, let her go through her second heat if you can. If you not, just do it right before around 16, 18 months. Go ahead. Because females mature a lot quicker than males, correct?
Absolutely.
So I allow them to spay. But the males, I tell them wait 2 to 3 years. And here's another thing. And if they don't want to spay and neuter their dogs, I don't care. I
Yeah.
say leave them be.
Yeah.
I think it's criminal what these vets do and pushing things. And then there's a pet vet. I have a client. I don't know if Nancy's watching, and she don't really do Facebook, but you got these vets now are pushing. Like I couldn't believe this. I was sitting at Black Canyon Veterinarian Clinic that day with that video. When she called me, this vet, I cannot think of the name of them. I'll get the name. Was telling her that she needed to bring her Doberman puppy in that she had just gotten and get all these extra booster shots, the distemper, parvo, the parainfluenza, and all that, because it was a black and tan dog. She called me, and I was like, "What? I've never heard of such shit in my life." They are just trying to just grub the money from these clients, and they don't care about the health. They just care about making the money.
That's
They don't
true.
care, and their hypocrisy of them about breeding dogs. Shut up, shut
And
up.
you know what? And they always and now the gigabyte games talking about you're a backyard breeder. I said, whoa. Hold on, folks.
Hold up.
Let me
The
figure out.
hell you are.
Do you want the dogs to be born in the backyard of a home, or do you want to pick your dog out in a mall through the window where they're buying them from the backyard breeder? Backyard breeders
Yeah.
is not, to me, is
Puppy
not a
mill.
negative term.
Worse. Puppy mill.
Yeah.
Puppy mill. They got 'em stacked up on cages and shit and everything. Well, you've seen it from Missouri and stuff like that.
And
Yeah.
from what's that kennel they used to have?
Kansas and stuff.
Kimbertall.
Huh? Yeah.
Kimbertall.
Yeah.
They,
Cambertall.
they used to
You
have them
know?
by the hundreds.
Yep.
Hundreds. And Bob,
Yep.
rest in peace, Bob, who's used to be the owner of Kimbertall.
I
Bob
like
used
Bob. He was good friends with my mother and the wife of him.
Bob
Go
would
ahead.
talk to you on the phone for a whole fucking hour. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So I remember this is 15 years ago.
He died like 10 years ago.
15 years ago, Bob was still working the kennels.
Hmm.
And at some point, Bob was breeding Rottweilers and wolves. He had
Hmm.
wolves.
He had a
And
wolf sanctuary.
yes. And this is the program that Bob had. And we're going to talk about breeders, the new jack breeders too. Okay. Bob, what they would do, they had a breeders program that you can participate in, and you can get a female for free. So let me tell you how he would do it. Are you writing this note down?
Oh, I already know how I did it. I already know all about this.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
but
I'm letting
these
the
other
people
people
know.
don't know. You tell the people.
Yeah, yeah. So
I'm
Bob,
just
if
writing
you
something
lived
down.
in the Pennsylvania area, Bob would give you a female for free. He would hold on to the paperwork, but when that female becomes of breeding age or requirements, you got to bring that female back. They breed that female. They pump the puppies out of her, and then after the puppies are sold or on their own, he gives you the female back, and now you get the full papers on the puppy on the female, and you get a free dog. But you had to live within the Pennsylvania
I
area.
do that here.
Yeah. Well, that's co-ownership. But
Mhm.
for Bob, it was
No, I
more,
do it. I let people actually take the dog. I own the dog.
yeah,
They take the dog. They raise the dog. I tell them to bring the dog here for breeding. Now, if they whelp the litter, I'll let them. I'll give them the price of a puppy. But I
yeah,
do 2 to 3 breedings.
yeah. So what
Normally just two.
if you notice, and you know this better than I do, the quality of of the puppy is based on the quality of the female. The
Yes, ma'am.
female has to
Hmm.
be top, top of the line
Hmm.
because the male only accentuates the puppies, right?
Yes.
And Bob would never show pictures of the mama. He would only show the sire, who was an import usually from Altobello. And the reason why
Hmm.
Altobello would send and sell Bob's the studs, because those of the studs were considered oversized. Because over there in Eastern
Hmm.
Europe, like for titles like ZTP, etc., a dog has to be
Hmm.
of standard
Yep.
size. Anything over that,
29 inches.
yes, anything over that, he's disqualified, can't participate.
Hmm.
Those are the dogs. That's why if you go on Kimber, well, the website not even up no more. But if you went on Bob's site back in the
Hmm.
day, he had a dog named Iran and all these other dogs, and it was 32, 33 inches to the wither. That's a fucking a female Great
No,
Dane type
that's
height.
a great day. You don't
Yeah,
want that crash.
yeah. So
You
yeah,
don't
it's a
want
lot of
that.
game. So I want to get into the new generation Doberman breeders, and we was
I
talking
like that wedge head too. Go ahead.
the 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 new generation breeders, and you can tell them a mile away. They get into the Doberman breed and they're motivated by sheer money, not because of the love of the animal, not because of what they grew up watching on TV, but they was probably when even born when the Doberman gang was coming out.
Mm-mm. That was great movies back then. I loved the movies as a little girl.
But they're driven by money. And those same breeders, the new
Or
ones,
the Frenchie spiriters.
are Frenchie breeders. They have a Frenchie.
Because they ain't making shit on their Frenchies. You know, when you pick up a Frenchie, you need a fluffy for $2,500.
And I'm gonna tell you, and I went
That's
down to
health tested.
I know. I went down to Dallas, Texas and interviewed Aaron J. And
Hmm.
during COVID, breeders made a shit load of money, right? Allegedly. Don't know. But
Hmm.
they were selling Frenchies 20, 30 grand. I'm like, what's what is it about it? You're talking about that he carries that gene, that lilac or that merle? I never even heard of. I thought it was Similac or Xlax. I didn't know shit about lilac,
Oh my God.
right?
Oh.
And I'm tripping because now I'm seeing, and we got to get back to this point about the real purpose of breeding a breed. Now we're getting back to the point now. People are breeding the all black Dobermans. They're
No,
breeding. They even have a Merle Doberman.
I
Did you see
seen it.
that?
Yeah, God.
Do you know in Europe?
Next thing they'll be doodle Dobermans.
Listen, in Europe, them dogs that come out with different colors, the blues, the fawns, they don't live 30 seconds after they're born.
A lot of times. That's what I hear.
They don't live 30 seconds because
Cut throat over there.
that's a genetic defect. And I
Yeah.
get that, right?
I could
Do,
never do that, but
do,
yeah.
do I feel it's right? I feel that there's a purpose for that dog as a pet,
Yes.
you know, but for their kennel name, they can't have it on there.
Mm-mm. And it
Right.
can happen. I was watching with the gentleman yesterday. Boy, he's sharp. And breeds all white Dobermans, you know what he does.
Laddie
Yeah,
Cooper.
I don't agree with what he does, but hey, to each their own. I don't,
Yeah,
I got breeder friends that breed hyper type. Just hey, to each their own.
yeah.
Do you, boo boo.
Do
but
you?
I'll do what I do and you do what you do.
You know,
But here's the thing. Now he was talking about, with the blues and fawns and white. Now here's the thing. A lot of people miss. I want to make this point. Won't take me but shortly. Now, if it doesn't have the white gene, let's say you and I bring a bitch to you, we breed it, boom. We know there ain't no Z factor in them dogs, right? But we end up with a damn fawn. It can happen. Recessive genes can happen. And it won't have a WZ, it'll still be a WS.
WS. Yep.
Yeah. So I just want to make that point. Oh, it's crazy how some people don't know that.
I mean, it's no different than people who are born albinos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, it's a recessive gene. I, from my experience, those off-white, the off colors, off-white, pearly whites, the creams, the
Mm-hmm.
blues, the fawns. It's probably 1 in 15 years that I've seen that had courage as a matador and didn't have too many
Well,
issues.
it had blindness.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, here's a good point with that too. When I was training horses and stuff here, we get these piebald paints and things, and they'll have blue eyes or just the blue eyes.
Piebald.
And
That
they
was
were
another word I just
Yep,
heard.
piebald.
Piebald.
Yep. And they would either have blindness and or deafness or
Yeah.
both. And see, your white Dobermans are prone for that as well. A lot
It's
of people don't know that either.
yeah.
Horses go through it. Our albino horses go through it. The blue eyes and all that. So a lot of times they're deaf. I've used to train and work with horses that some people trainers would deem untrainable. And it was just funny. I remember this beautiful paint horse I had. I was like, I remember the client's name was so long this while back, but I said, honey, he's just deaf. That's why he doesn't see. That's why he just gets jumping. We had to work, and I said he's great for an arena horse, but don't be taking him out on trails. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I noticed that
Dogs too.
these new breeders. Here's a public service announcement for you guys
Hmm.
who are trying to be a Doberman breeder or any breed. Study the history of the dog, know how the dog was created, learn the dogs, because most purebreds started out with multiple different dogs to make that one purebred. Do your history, learn to read pedigrees. Once you learn the dog, then think about owning one to study the dog. But if you in this game for the money, I will bet
You
I'll bet on I hit a number 10 on roulette that guess what? You're gonna lose.
they'll be
Because
here today, gone tomorrow. They
yeah,
always are.
yeah, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose because you're not driven. See, me and Meredith, we are driven with
I've been
this
with
breed.
Dobermans my whole life,
Yeah,
54 years.
because we love the breed. And when
Hmm.
you love something unconditionally, because this is an unconditional love.
It
We've had
is.
Dobermans that were shit Dobermans. We had Dobermans that bit
Uh-huh.
us. We had Dobermans that had no nerves. And guess what? We still love Dobermans. That's
Hmm.
unconditional. I was telling somebody
Hmm.
the other day, and I don't like getting off on tangents, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I said, I hate when people say I love, like the Stephen A. Smith was always saying, I love LeBron James. I love Clyde Drexler. I love Michael Jordan. He used the word love so loosely.
I
Like,
want
dude, what do you not love?
love.
Right? I don't use that word loosely. When I love something,
You truly love it.
you truly love it. But when you love something, most of the things you love are conditional. Like my wife, she loves me, I love her, but it's based on conditions. Like, yo, motherfucker, you ain't gonna go out and cheat on me. You ain't gonna have babies outside of the house. You ain't gonna steal from me. You ain't gonna disrespect my mama. You ain't gonna hit me. You ain't gonna steal
Yeah.
from. Those are conditions. Like,
Yeah.
if we
It's
stay
a partner.
within those lines, we're gonna be loved. Now, my
Hmm.
kids, I hate to say, my kid can go out there and shoot 2 people. I'm still gonna love him.
Me too.
I'm not changing.
No.
My dogs, they go out and eat another dog up or bite somebody. I'm still loving my dog.
Yes.
Unconditional.
Yes.
So
And Yes.
You got to
I
love
do.
this
I get it.
breed unconditionally. Whatever breed you're doing, it has to be an unconditional love. The money will come. The money will come.
Mhm.
Money will go, but
It's a
nothing's
lot of money
guaranteed.
to take care of them. I've got what, 16 or 18. I gotta go count. I gotta go
Yeah,
count. But I've
yeah,
got some puppies. But it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to caring for them and things like that. And some people say to me, "Oh, Meredith got a lot." Well, I've got young, I've got old. Now I do try to rehome my older dogs, the ones I get
yes,
retired, things like that. But some just don't. I can't.
yeah,
I just can't. And it's not my personal choice. The dog just won't accept nobody else. I've been with this breed 54 years.
yeah.
My mother had this breed before I was even born.
So let me
I
tell you,
love them.
I had a dog named Bo who I took back after he was a puppy that I created with Brody, with a female that was out of pride of Russia.
Hmm.
And so the guy bought the only male that was born in that litter, and he had him for a year and a half. And this dog he was the dog. If you had a junkyard or a farm or somewhere in a desolate area, you needed a dog that can guard the compound. This motherfucker was loony. And I'm not talking about he will bite you out of fear. He'll bite you because he loves it, and he will kill you if he could. So he returned them to me. He said, "Man, I'm a union worker, electrician, and now they got me traveling, blah blah blah. Same old bullshit." I kind
Hmm.
of knew what happened. Where his wife, who got nails this long and 10-inch nails, she got two Pomeranians, and she think that Bo is gonna let these Pomeranians keep punking him after the age of. I'm like, yo, bro,
There's your sign right there. Okay, hold
they
on.
like wait for it, because at some
Yeah.
point this dog gonna realize, you can't eat my food and talk shit to me no more, right? So
Hmm.
I took Bo back. I didn't give him no money for it,
No,
and I took
hell
Bo
no.
back. And I bonded with him. Well, so I thought I did,
Hmm.
and I took him to training with Adrian Santano. Shout out to Adrian. And Adrian called me after 6 months of working with Bo, because he was with me first before I let him have a trainer
Yeah.
to do a board and train. He said, "General, hey man, he attacked me." He said, "I can't." He almost attacked me. He tried to bite my wife in the face, who's also a trainer. I was like, "Shit, I don't know what." It's like something just snapped, but it was
It just
always
happens.
there. It was always
It's
there,
always
probably.
not. There's always something could be screwy in the brain.
Yeah, he had a screw loose,
Did
and
you
so
euthanize him? I hope.
that was the one I put down because
Oh,
I
okay.
brought him to me.
Put him down.
And we were doing some training. I was trying to get him dialed in for some ring sport.
Hmm.
And I noticed when you put the prong on him and do corrections, he stiffens up. I'm like, why is he stiffing up at me? I'm like, I didn't say attention. I was like, why is he
Yeah.
stiffing up at me? And then all of a sudden, he lunged at me. He bit me on the arm. And because I had a hoodie on, is the reason why he didn't pierce my skin. I
Hmm.
said, okay, I'm going to let that slide. Me and Al was like, you should take him over there, hang his ass for like 30 seconds before he pass out and let him go before he pass out. So now you know that you're the boss. And I was like,
Hmm.
man, I can't do that. I should have, because you got to let a dog know who's an alpha dog, who's an
Yeah,
alpha,
you do.
right? And so I didn't do it.
I
But
don't blame you for doing that. There's other ways of going about it,
right.
but yeah.
So we go home, everything's good. And then as I was finna put his harness on, we're finna go do some protection training. This dog lives for this shit. When you put the harness on a dog that does protection work, he know what time of day it is, right?
Yes.
He attacked me. He
Yeah,
bit
you
me in
need to
my
euthanize
back.
him.
I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that's fucked up. And
Yeah.
then
And I'm sorry to hear about that, but shit like that happens. Sometimes, dogs just
they
can
got the
have
evil
a
in them.
screw loose.
Yeah.
You just don't
And
know.
when he started growling at my wife for feeding him, I was like, yeah, we got a problem.
That's a problem. Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. So
That's a real problem.
I took him to the
Yeah.
vet. They put that sleep juice in him. It was a done deal. And all the other guys in the hood was like,
And I
oh
know it
man,
hurt you. I know it hurt you.
it did, because listen, he
You
was one of
felt
the
you
one.
felt him. I know. I've
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah. And it was like all the guys in the hood were like, yeah. I would have took him. I would have took him. I said, yeah, bro, I called you. You didn't answer your phone. You do that shit where you don't answer phones or text messages for 2 or 3 days. When I make decision, I don't marinate on it. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, I just make it happen because I got other stuff to deal with the following day. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
um I put him down and it was just he
Probably
had
best you did because he could have
yeah.
been a liability if
Oh
you
my
gave him
God.
someone
He would have
else.
ate somebody up and like
Yeah.
it would have put me in that lawsuit. And then I
Yeah.
had to do like Hulk Hogan, file bankruptcy just to
Yeah.
protect the shit that I got. So like I'm not down with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. You did the right thing because if he's that unpredictable and he's with a trainer, he's been with you. I mean, yeah, that's a
Yeah. And
liability.
nobody's
Yeah. You
caused
did the
harm
right
to
thing.
him.
No.
Nobody
Some are
causing
just
harm.
dominant like that. They just could be just nasty, or they could just have a damn screw loose. I'm sorry. Believe it or not, animals can have a mental disabilities as well as people.
Yeah.
They can,
Let me see. Here's another
and they
question.
don't have to go with any trauma, nothing. They just be screwy as hell.
This is a good question for me and you. Tony wants to know how common is it to find a show line Doberman that can work? And how important is confirmation when it comes to the dog's ability to work? So
That's very important.
yeah,
You want that confirmation like you would in the show ring, also as you would as a working dog.
yeah.
It all goes hand in hand. If you got a duck-footed dog that's running around like this, forget it.
You know how I
You
feel
know,
about web feet now. Come on.
yeah. But I remember one time I said to you, I was William. I said, William, and I love Brody and them. And I said, damn, Brody got some damn duck feet. And he's like, oh, he's got cameras. Shh. I said, well, it's true. I don't know if you heard it or not. He
Yeah,
was worried you will come out there and get me. I'm like, oh hell, I'm being honest.
yeah,
I love Brody. I'm there paying to breed with him. But I said, this kitty cat's gonna put some nice paws on them babies. And you know what?
mhm,
She did.
yeah,
Brody
yeah.
didn't have them like real bad, but he was a little long toed. You know that.
It was a little long toed. Yeah,
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 not bad.
yeah.
And it was way bad. I was like,
Well,
he was great. I love Brody. But
nightmare
go ahead.
kennels have see it's okay to have one dog with it, but breed to a dog that doesn't have it. Try to outbreed out of it, right? But
Hmm.
all of his male dogs that I've seen, nightmare, they're shit like ducks. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, it's
well,
like,
a lot of your Europeans are honestly, if you look, that's why they never show the feet.
yeah,
But to answer his question too, you want something that's conformationally sound, like you would in a show ring, as you would in a working ring. Okay, you want a nice croup coming down. You want that nice top line with a higher wither. It's symmetry. And it's a way of the dog of making a good agile moves. Does that make the agility of that dog and how agile that Doberman will be? If you got a great big old heavy, like to like a heavy bone Doberman that's
yeah,
over hyper tight, no, it's gonna be like a fat chick, like me trying to run down the damn driveway.
yeah,
I'm going, so that's why your confirmation with your show lines and your working lines is so important. Now, here's the thing with that. At FCI, they're the ones, with the Doberman breed and all that. They called the Doberman at one time a medium breed when it first started. Where in the hell they get medium breed anymore? I don't get it. Because
yeah.
I don't understand how a 75-pound plus damn dog could be a medium breed.
Right.
Okay. But they probably need to work on that a little bit. But you know, but size does matter. You don't want to overly bone. You want something that's going to be athletic, what the Doberman should be it show line or working line. And most of your Europeans, and I don't know if Gerald will agree with me with this or not, but if you don't, that's fine. But most of your Europeans, in looking at the pedigrees, you got to look at the pedigrees. Most of your European show dogs are still coming from working lines. Okay,
If
just
they
so
know how
y'all
to
know
read the
that.
pedigree.
Read the pedigrees.
What did I say at the
They're
beginning? I
coming.
said,
Hmm.
learn to read the pedigrees.
And Gerald's big on his working dogs. Now I brought down, and I'm going to be doing some more breeding. I got some new females coming up, Gerald, just so you know. But
Titus is
uh,
ready. Cisco's
you
ready.
know, your show line and your working breed, your show line and working lines are basically the same damn thing. I'm just gonna say it,
Yep.
you know. They really are. And some people can might disagree with me. That's fine. We can agree to disagree. That's all right. But that's my opinion. But and also when I'm breeding, when I'm pairing, let's say like when I come to Brody, I've got to consider that female. And I watched Brody. I watched your clients, and I kind of knew what he was going to be putting out.
Yeah.
So I did want to get one of my hyper more one of my females that's just got such prey drive, high prey drive. I wanted to bring in something about a mid prey drive, so that way I could have a good equal out with what my clientele were looking for. Okay, so if they wanted something more like a family dog, pet dog that still had the confidence and so forth to be a good guardian, yes, great. But they wouldn't have a puppy that's gonna be ripping their everything out. And you know how our higher working line Dobermans are, what we
Yeah.
look for if you were going to get a working dog, to be should have eaten holes in the wall, you
Yep.
know. So some of my clients may want that they're able to work that puppy and stimulate it and keep it
Yep.
in a good, direction that they want it to. And some of my clients aren't experienced with that kind of temperament. Yeah, but that's it. I
I
hope I
think
said that well.
you did. I think, and I'll pick it back on that and we'll go to the next topic. I think that most of these show dogs, they have the ability to work.
Hmm.
I mean, straight up. I mean, listen, most of my dogs have show lines in them, and they have working lines. And sometimes, a lot of times, I focus on, like, case in point, this new puppy I'm
Hmm.
getting, Gaius.
Oh
I'm getting
God.
Gaius. Gaius daddy.
Can't wait to look at him more.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Gaius daddy is the same dad as Titus, who's an IGP3 dog. Axel.
No. Wow.
Yes. And the mama, his mama is, if you read the
Whoa.
pedigree, the mama is an IGP2. Now, people, this is different
That's
because
almost unheard of. And honestly, I think they should
that's
do it more with feet. Yeah, go ahead.
that's what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking, Meredith.
Yes.
You get me excited, girl.
That and
Listen,
you know what? More females would do it if they give them the chance, just so you know. Go ahead.
yeah, they'll
My
do it.
females will eat your ass up before my males will.
They'd do it, but the breeders over there for FIC purposes, they have to get titles on them, and usually it's puppy titles or show titles. But to put
Hmm.
a female not only to a 1 but an IGP2 is taxing with time, and you're taking time off this
Yeah,
dog.
well, they want the bitch having puppies at 6 and
Exactly.
6
So
months to a year.
so when I say this, people, I'm getting a new puppy. He's coming in June. His name is Gaius. They can't ship him until he's 5.5, 6 months. But what if most of my dogs, they have show lines, but a lot of times I try to make sure that the equal amount of work is on both sides.
Yes.
Like the mama has a ZTP, or the mama's parents have 1s and 2s, IGP 1s, 2s. In this case, it may
Hmm.
be shits and 1 and 2. But you know what? We're Americans, right? We're Americans, and we're visual creatures over here. We go how they look before
Hmm.
we figure out what they can do internally
You
and mentally.
gotta look at that pedigree, the mind of those dogs. Here's the thing. You just handheld something very good. I can have a beautiful dog, sir. I can have two beautiful dogs. Well, like if you breed stupid people, you're gonna get stupid kids.
Yeah.
Okay. But I put a lot of emphasis not only in the health, all these stuff that we all do. I want to know if that dog's gonna be smart. How smart am I producing? I don't want to breed a bunch of dumbass puppies. I want trainability. I want trainability. I want a good head where they're like this. Okay. That they have a desire to work, to want to please their human, even if it's work or just be pet, whatever. I want that. And you know what? A lot of breeders are missing that a lot
You
today. I've
know what?
seen it.
I don't know if we
They
Kendrick
just look, they
Spears
breed
here,
for looks.
but here's the deal. I don't know if we're Kendrick Spears here or something going on right there. I love the country. I love the Southern accent. Okay, just letting you know. But
Sorry, I'm a cracker.
there
I'm
you
a
go.
Florida cracker.
I love it. Yeah. But listen,
Yeehaw, baby.
listen. I love that. But the everybody always say, every pet owner that I've met say, "Oh, my dog is smart. She is so smart." And
Oh,
I'm like, "Well,
shit.
how fucking smart is she? Like, can she be smart under pressure? Can she be smart
Yep.
with
How
other
can they be?
dogs around? Do she pick up on shit in one day? Because I've had
Mm-hmm.
some smart dogs and I've had some not
Pick
so
it up
smart dogs.
2 times. Yep, they got it. Mm-hmm.
Right. And if you guys have been following me for so long that, listen, I don't give a shit how much I paid for a dog imported. He's got up to 6 or 7 months, max 8 months to prove himself. Or I give his ass
I'm
away to
giving that
somebody who got
back.
a purpose.
Mhm.
I give him away. Trust me, I'll take a hit 8 to 10 grand in a heartbeat because I know the longer I keep that dog, the more money he's
More
going to
money
cost
it's
me,
going to cost
the
you.
more I'm not going to
And
like him.
it's going to be, and the harder it's going to be to rehome it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, trust me, I have a purpose. All
Yeah,
my
see,
dogs
people think
have a
I'm a
purpose.
jerk that
Yeah,
I do shit like that. Like if I have let's say if I have a female, and her thyroid, I'm not keeping her.
right.
If the thyroid and look or something just isn't where I need it to be, and believe it or not, people, thyroid is directly linked to DCM. Just so y'all know.
Yeah,
Okay, a lot of people don't realize they have a lot to do with the DCM and then developing it in the future, But anyhow, or it's just she just didn't make out what I wanted her to be or
yeah,
him,
yeah,
and I rehomed them. People, oh, that's kind of mean. Well, it is what
yeah.
it is.
And and that's the difference between a pet owner who own pets or a pet owner who own pets with a purpose.
I'm a
Like,
breeder.
yeah. And I'm
I'm a
consider myself a
serious breeder.
breeder, but I'm a pet owner with a
You're a
purpose.
breeder.
Yeah, I'm a
Yep, you're a
breeder.
breeder.
And my thing is like I have 2 cats to be regular
Who
pets.
cares? See me on
All right.
that. Hmm.
I got two cats. All
Hmm.
my dogs have a purpose in my family.
Hmm.
They either serve a purpose or I give them away. And every
Hmm.
time I had to rehome a dog or give a dog away to somebody who had more time with him, because see, Alonzo and Brody set the tone. They set the expectation. Anything below that, I'm not fucking with it because I don't
Yeah.
have a year and a half for this male dog to figure shit out. You got
Yeah.
you got it. Listen, I know when I used to date women, I have what 60, 90 days to prove that I'm worthy.
Hmm.
Most of the women I dated, they don't want a
Sometimes less.
project.
Most women
Yeah,
less.
yeah, they don't
30
want a
days,
project.
maybe.
A woman who's confident don't want a project. Not at my
Hmm.
stage in the game. Not no guy 40 plus
Hmm.
and I'm 53,
Yeah.
54 coming up. They like either got your shit together now or you ain't gonna have your shit together later, right? So for me,
Yeah,
my dog,
exactly. You can't change it.
that's what I'm saying. So my dog's got you got a window, bruh. Because outside of how much I pay for
And
the
it's
dog,
hard.
yeah, outside of how much I pay for the dog, considering the food, the medical, the training, and training ain't no damn
Yeah. Yeah.
$100.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Gerald, too. With that dog, people might think that's unfair of you to do that or whatever. Well, here's the thing here. You were wanting something that you were desiring. And how happy would that dog be there with you with the other dogs? And if you couldn't give him truly what he wanted and what he needed from you. So you're actually rehoming that dog and
Yeah,
giving that dog better chance of what his needs are, and you'll get something for your needs. Does that make any sense?
it makes sense because the purpose that you have for this dog didn't work out
Yeah.
in your camp, but it may
And you're
be
always
perfect
gonna
so for
see
somebody
him.
else's camp.
Yeah, yeah, and you're always going to look at me. What I wanted, And then
Yeah,
they kind of get put to the back burner. They do. So
yeah,
that would be unfair to the dog. So you're actually doing that as dogs a service than not.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes
Yeah.
sense. Um, I wish we can do this more often. We need to do it on TikTok live. Listen, I
Okay.
love TikTok. I don't know how you feel about it,
I love TikTok. I'm a
but
ticky
TikTok,
top.
listen, the reasons why I love TikTok is a few reasons. Number one is there are people out there on TikTok that actually sell merchandise. They resell TikTok stuff. They promote items, and that's how they pay their bills.
Hmm.
That's how they provide for their families. Ain't too much of Instagram you selling their product. It's none of that bullshit. And
Yeah.
TikTok at times pay for videos, right? Anything over a
Yeah.
minute. And guess what? They won't take your picture down or your video down because you're promoting a puppy you want to sell. They don't do that. Instagram would almost deactivate your account
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
on selling a purebred dog to
or
want to be.
anything, any type
Yeah,
of pet, unless
yeah,
it's livestock, you know. And that leaves a thing. And some people will say, well, dogs aren't livestock. Well, it all depends on how you look at things. I don't really think of it as livestock, but but it is what it is.
yeah.
I mean, like with me, I'm registered with the state and everything. Let's just say if I was walking my dog and some careless ass person come up with their dog come running loose off the leash and ate up one of my 50,000 dogs. Well, guess what? We're not going to be going to civil. We're not going to be going to small claims court. That dog's registered with the IRS, everything.
Yeah. Yep.
That is considered livestock.
Yeah.
People don't get that, and it is. And it's something I like to see. I think it was a topic you brought up. I'm seeing our Dobermans now. They're getting the snorters, the shorter snout, and they say it's because they get a better bite. I am dead against that. You seeing these Dobermans nowadays too, because it got me thinking. You're seeing these Dobermans now, they're getting more like a German Shepherd head. People breed for the beautiful wedged head of the Doberman. Just don't go ruin them like they did the Rottweiler breed with that bulbous ass head that they
It-
do
it-
now to these
with
modern
the
Dobermans.
mashed up face, the
Yeah, oh
Timitar, the
God, looks
Timitar
like
look.
yeah, that's it. The Timothy. Oh my God. They just ruined them.
It,
Ruined them.
and
So people don't do it to your Dobermans either. Keep that beautiful, nice wedged head. Good. Well, yeah, we want good boning around there with the jaw and things like that. But don't give them a German Shepherd head. Don't do it.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Well,
Keep
listen,
it that perfect wedged head.
it was beautiful talking to you. See, didn't I tell you
You too, darling.
this is like I don't like doing scripted and just like no, this is organic, and we're talking about stuff that people think about, but they don't know if somebody
Hmm.
else is thinking the same thing. And that's what the beauty
Hmm.
behind us is, that not only we're breeders, but we're responsible pet owners. So we can
Hmm.
see both sides of the fence. And we buy
Hmm.
animals because we're in the replacement business. We have to
Yeah.
up our game. We have to
Yeah,
get
I
better
got four
dogs.
puppies here right now that I'm keeping and stuff, and I'm gonna tell you now, they probably not all of them are gonna make the mark. I just
It
had
is
to
what
do
it
in
is.
case one don't do. I'll find a wonderful home for it, and things like that. I got this little litter I just had was brought in from Serbia from Slobodan at Betelgeuse. These are
Yes.
Chris puppies, and how him and I did it. He gets 30% and I get the 70%.
Yeah.
Works
I
great.
I love working with him. He's
He's such a good man,
dude.
such a good man.
And check this out. The one thing that I loved working with him about is that when it comes to wiring the money, he has an American bank account. It's like go
Yes.
to Bank of America. It's like
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
sometimes you wire this shit and you miss the Swiss account number by one digit and
I won't do it.
it's all in the space. But I got a Bank of America account. So oh shit,
Yeah. And
done
you
deal.
do Zelle. I like Zelle. I
Yeah.
love Zelle. But all right. Well,
All right.
you got
Listen,
anything else?
that's it. Listen, I appreciate you being my premier guest. This is great. I was a little bit sleepy today because I got up and did that luring trial thing today.
Mm-hmm.
The dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that later, another show. But uh, it was a pleasure talking with you, and we
But you
got to
didn't
do this
talk.
again.
What
And
about this baby?
let me see.
Look at this. Look what he sent me, everybody. Look
Oh
at that.
yes,
Isn't that gorgeous?
that is Gaius.
I had to share it because you didn't share it, so I'm sharing
Not
it
yet,
for you.
baby. That's Gaius. That's him.
Gaius, I can't wait to see him
Yes,
when you
yes.
get him in 3 more months, right?
June, yeah, in June,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. You be counting the days and the
I'm
seconds,
counting,
buddy.
counting. And
Okay.
I always say at the end of my podcast, be responsible, be resilient, but take care of your
Yep.
animal.
All right. Yeah. Amen. Y'all
Take
take
care.
care. All right. Bye,
All right,
Gerald.
bye.
Bye. Good.